Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to another video. So here is a guitar from a company that I'll admit I've been sleeping on. It's not one I ever expected to really get on the channel, but here we are. Let's take a closer look. Yeah, so this is a Dean Cadillac. It is a very divisive shape. Some people love it, some people think it's an abomination. The headstock is so big, it's ridiculous. A lot of you have been asking for a video. Massive thanks to Dean for sending it over for us to check out together. They've also included this soft case, which I have to say feels real nice. A lot of protection without the weight of a hard case. You're seeing more companies do stuff like this, and I have to say this is my favorite version of the idea so far. So let's plug it in, get some initial impressions, and write a demo track. Predictably, it chugs, as if there was ever any doubt. Something like this, I feel like I should be playing old school thrash, maybe? So this is interesting. The body's a flat top, but then you've got like an arm bevel here, so your arm doesn't get stabbed by a corner. Pickup selector location is confusing my brain. Like, I'm looking down here and I'm seeing like all this single cutness. So I'm looking for the pickup selector around here, but it's where you'd find it on an E-type instead. I'm sure I'd get used to it if I played it more. It's just funny that I'm looking for it and it's just not there. No, I just noticed something about these pickups though. The pole pieces have been sandblasted, so it's not like a shiny metal. These are more distressed and cooler looking. You know, the flat black front, ebony fingerboard, sandblasted pole pieces. It's all very evil, very gothic. Speaking of gothic, the sponsor of this video. Yeah, let's take a quick second and thank Gthic Jewelry for supporting the channel. They sent over some of their pieces. Let's check it out. So yeah, massive thanks to Gthic Jewelry for sponsoring today's video. As the name suggests, they make a bunch of metal rings, pendants, bracelets, necklaces. The detail on their products is actually really impressive. There's like this evil looking dragon eye thing. I think I've seen this on Chug's channel too. And then this one is like turquoise Aztec-inspired stainless steel bracelet, ring. Again, the detail is super impressive. My favorite thing though is this goofy cowboy skeleton guy who clearly has amazing taste in guitars. I mean, he's rocking a Les Paul. So yeah, if you're interested in any of these, or Gthic has a ton more stuff on the site, you can check it out using the link in the description. And just for you guys, if you use the code Agufish at checkout, you'll get 20% off your order. So huge thanks to them for making cool stuff and supporting the channel. And now let's get back into talking about this guitar. So first I thought this tailpiece looked real wacky, but like actually I really like it. It makes a ton of sense. It's like kind of top back loaded, so that should make it easier when you're restringing. This headstock is so ridiculous. I mean, look at that. That has to be bigger than my face. Surprisingly enough, no tuning stability issues. I thought that would be a problem for sure with how massive the string angle is at the nut, but no, tuning's fine. I have to say, I'm massively surprised with how comfortable this thing is to play. Like, it looks ridiculous, but the playability is pretty awesome. I think that has a lot to do with the fact that the neck isn't like super modern. I mean, it's got jumbo frets, but then a 24 3/4 inch scale length, 12-inch fingerboard radius. The neck isn't super thin, but I love how even though the rest of the guitar is gloss, the neck is satin. So I mean, if you were blindfolded and you didn't see the shape, this would feel like a, I don't know, Schecter Solo 2 Custom or something. Yeah, I'm actually liking this a lot more than I thought I would. Like, don't get me wrong, I still find it ugly, but I'd be lying if I said this wasn't a ton of fun. Now though, we gotta start writing a demo track. Now Dean, originally I was gonna go with like Testament, because I'm pretty sure I've seen one of the guitarists use a Cadi on YouTube. But then I realized one of my favorite riff writers, John Connolly from Sevendust, is a Dean artist. So it would be fun to do something Sevendust-inspired. And I don't think I've ever tried writing a nu metal track for the channel yet. We're already running through the dual rec, so we got that nu metal sound ready. you, I've never been a fan of the Duncan Custom. So, I don't know, like muffled and scooped. But that should work well for the new metal style demo track we're going for. Something about Sevendust though, they always play in drop B. This is currently in drop D. I'm gonna use the Gthic drop to put us in drop C. Restringing this and doing a full setup for drop B isn't really something that I want to do right now. I find 2 semitones pretty good with the drop. 3 semitones, the tone starts changing a little bit. It gets a little more muffled. Yeah, just imagine that's in drop B. Okay, let's get to writing. So just like Lamb of God, they like a lot of like single string runs. Like most of my favorite riffs from them involve only like the top 2 strings. Something along those lines? Yeah, and then the other guitar in the silence in between chugs, that makes sense. We're doing like an octave filler. I have no idea if that was the same rhythm, but you get what I mean. I'll work on that off camera. Yeah, so I think that's an intro already. I've pretty much just ripped off decay. Something I also like to do is like riff out on the lower strings and then throw in dissonant high notes. Those are the wrong notes. I feel like we should be playing more with up here. Yeah. Okay, so those are ones I'm definitely gonna have to practice off camera, but that should work. One of my favorite Sevendust songs is called Death Star, where they've got this crazy double bass chugging outro section. Oh, it's so badass. So let's see if we can recreate that vibe. Nah, I'm not liking that. Ooh. That can work. Yeah, that's sick. Okay, so I think we've got quite a few ideas here. Enough for me to go away, work on it off camera, and come up with something that hopefully doesn't suck. See you back here for the demo track, and then stick around for isolated sound samples, and then some final thoughts. Okay, so just a few final thoughts. This is one of the ugliest guitars I've ever played. I stand by that. But you know, the more time I've spent with this, the more I kind of like it. It's been an acquired taste, but it's definitely grown on me. The weird, less explorer shape, the absurdly massive headstock, it's straight up nasty, but like in an endearing way. Like, it owns how ridiculous it is. So I hate it, but also I love it. And it's really interesting because it may look real wacky on the surface, but the scale length, the shape of the neck, it feels like playing the classic, old school, traditional shaped instruments that I'm used to. And regardless of whether or not you dig the shape or not, this guitar is a good indication of the quality found in Dean's Select Series line of guitars. Comfortable neck shape, the fretwork is very good, jumbo frets for that modern feel, and I'm loving what they're doing with satinizing the back of the neck. Not to be confused with satanizing. I don't really feel like that needed clarification, but sometimes you guys surprise me. It makes it feel really quick, and I hate when you've got those import guitars with a gloss finish that looks great, but then they've got an obnoxious amount of poly on the back of the neck that gets really sticky. In those cases, usually what I'll do is lightly sand a lot of the finish off the back of the neck, like on a lot of PRS SEs or Epiphones, for example. It works, but it doesn't look great. It's pretty janky. So I love how Dean has just cut all that out at the factory and made the neck satin across all of the Select Series imports. From what I understand, the Select Series has fairly standard neck specs across the board, so even if you're not into the Cadi shape, which is understandable, but I have to say again, now I'm liking a lot more in like the same way I like deathcore now. Like, damn, that's nasty. I love it with a passion. But yeah, you want a more traditional single cut shape with fluences? They got you. You want a reasonably priced Super Strat with a freaking Kaler tremolo? Again, they got you. Who else does that? E-types, Vs, MLs, even shreddy modern tellies. I mean, just check out the website. They got a lot of variety. I'm guilty of this a lot. When I think of Dean, I think pointy-ass guitars with a ton of weapons-grade Chad energy. And yeah, they are masters of that craft, but that's not all they do. Back to this guitar. The looks are going to be divisive, but from an objective standpoint, the playability, the QC, you can't fault it. I don't think I'm cool enough for this to be my main guitar, like the headstock is bigger than my face, but $849 US, good specs, good frets, plays great. If you're cooler than me though, try one out. It might surprise you. It surprised me for sure. So those are just my opinions. Let me know what you think down below. Especially curious what your thoughts are on the Cadillac. Huge thanks to the patrons for supporting the channel, to Gthic Jewelry for sponsoring the video, and to Dean for sending this guitar out for us to check out together. Social media, merch, and Discord server links are in the description. As always, thanks so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I'll see you for the next video.